Welcome back, everybody, to the European League Championship Series. Copenhagen Wolves with a fan meet there. It's been a while. Must feel good after winning that game versus H2K. But here, though, Origin is about to face off against SK Gaming. Let's start by taking a look at Origin. Two teams, of course, SK and Origin. Very different things to focus on when we come into this one. On the side of Origin, wanting to secure that second place. And then yesterday versus Gambit, oof, that Nidalee from Diamond completely killed them in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, Origin had a fine start to the game. It was very even. Amazing and Diamond were like following each other around the lanes. But then suddenly, Diamond and the rest of Gambit started outroaming them, picked the right team fight, managed to get a few kills. And Origin as a team, they rely so much on having this strong mid game. If they don't have it, everything just falls apart from it. And it's a big problem. In the last 4 games where they've been behind in the mid game, they've lost everything. We need to see them fix this. Now that H2K lost the game, though, if Origin wins this one and wins the next one again, they might just secure that spot on their own.
Yeah, they may very well do. I think a key factor in yesterday's games, though, when it comes to why they ended up losing that game from being behind in the mid game, they traded their own kills, 4 kills, and objectives.
True.
And if you're not getting a net gain when you're trying to get kills, then you're always going to fall behind when it comes to playing out the mid game.
And also we saw a little bit of some of the things we talked about before, with like Pekka in the mid lane being very passive in the laning phase. Betty was roaming around, having more impact in the mid game. So combine that with Diamond having a great start, that was enough to really start snowballing it for Gambit. And then Forgiven and of course Cabochak would just take it over. And Lucian won a game, by the way, in case you
They definitely did. We will not forget that. And then turning to the opponents of OG in this one, though, SK, as said, they're fighting to climb as much as possible and stay out of the bottom of the tables as much as possible. And they came out swinging yesterday in their game versus the Unicorns of Love. Candy Panda said in the post-game interview, well, we picked something that is easy to execute. It's all we can do. It was a poke comp, though, so not incredibly easy. Playing good with their backs against the wall, honestly.
Yeah, they played very well yesterday in the game. And honestly, although Candy Panda said it was easy, they got a couple of comfortable champions, but some new things mixed in there again. Starting with the comfortable ones, Sven, he did so well in yesterday's games on the Nidalee against the Unicorns of Love. When you look at it, 5-0-4 before 15 minutes, just a crazy opening to the game. We'll take a look at some of his highlights from yesterday. Maybe a little bit to do with the Unicorns of Love changes that they had in their lineup, but certainly looking very strong out of the jungle.
Yeah, just a perfect setup for him. SK had 3 lanes that were pushing and winning, so he could invade in and find Gilius, and he was just looking for him every single time. And another guy as well, performing well for SK, was in Rated. He picked Shen support. We haven't seen it too much here in Europe, so flex pick normally. Now the clips are running out here. What a great performance for him. I mean, great taunts, great subs. He won the laning phase as well. It's his birthday today, so go on Twitter, wish him happy birthday. And if he can play Shen again, him and Candy Panda might be able to make some work.
It'd be a bit of a double-edged sword for some, the players here if there is a birthday present for N-Rated in the form of a win, because a win here will put the Copenhagen Wolves out of the LCS. So for SK, while it isn't do or die for them, it's certainly, this one is just no chance of auto-relegation for SK. They would be on their way to, at a minimum, a promotion tournament spot.
Well, we'll see what happens. The stage is set. Let's check in with Quickshot and Crepo and load into that game.
Thank you very much, Shucks and the analyst desk. Final preparations for picks and bans are underway, so let's run down the rosters once more. On the blue side, it will, of course, be Origin, with Soaz in the top lane, amazing in the jungle. Peck in mid, Niels and Mithy, the AD carry, and support with Leduc, their coach, looking to bounce back from the loss from yesterday.
Yeah, and they're obviously playing against SK Gaming right there. The man on your screen, and Rated, is their support. You got the rest of the roster. Freddy in the top lane, Svensk in the jungle, Fox mid, Candy Panda, AD carry, and their coach, Lucas Schenke.
Of course, we did just briefly hear the crowd singing happy birthday to N-Rated. We'll see if he can gift SK a 2-0. I'd like to do another update and reminder. If SK win this game, Copenhagen Wolves are in 10th in automatic relegation.
It's kind of not how birthdays work. You receive gifts, you don't give them. I don't know about that is where you're from. Back in Belgium, when it's my birthday, I get the gifts. But hopefully SK gets the gift of this game to auto-relegate.
I've been taught in the office that if it's your birthday in Germany, you have to bring the cake to the office.
I'm new to the office. I never heard this, by the way. Next time I don't have a cake, it's my fault. But yeah, this game, very many things on the line. SK obviously, not only did they want to not get relegated, they also still have a small chance to make it into playoffs. So they've been looking better and better. And honestly, yesterday, stellar performance by them.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Elements currently 6 wins, 9 losses ahead of them, still in promo. Then you look at Rocket and Giants, rather Gambit and UOL, who are 7 wins, 8 losses. So that's a 2-game difference. If SK can pick up a surprise win against Origin, maybe they can sneak their way in. But of course, this is double-edged sword for SK, because of course, if they lose, they're also one step closer to swapping places with Copenhagen Wolves. If SK lose out and Copenhagen Wolves win out.
Yeah, but that's still a mile off.
Unlikely.
Honestly, can be a very interesting game. The way these storylines are setting themselves up makes it very easy for us. Origin looking weaker, SK on the rise here. Main question I have, once we eventually get into picks and bans, is that Shen. Is the Shen and the Lulu going to get respected? Because before, Enrated would only perform super well on Lulu. That eventually got banned out. Then he resorted to the Shen and said, hey, I have another trick up my sleeve. They picked it first. Everybody thought it was going to Freddy.
Yeah.
Nope. Went to Enrated. Will they ban it out and force a third champion coming out on the side of Enrated? Or has SK prepared something else for Origin right here?
Well, yesterday, Soaz ran that Nautilus top for the first time in the split. We should be jumping into picks and bans in just a couple of minutes. I'm hearing from production that the players are almost ready. We are on 5-13, as we mentioned a good couple of times. Callista is a concern. Both of these teams run and play that. Civ is up there as well.
The camera can switch really quick. How is it just? I'm not ready for this.
You're adjusting a tie. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah. Surprise.
If Shen is a big question, Rumble is a good pick for Soaz, less so for Freddy.
Yeah.
So where would you prioritize your bans? Because I know coming into this, we talked a lot about the Lulu. Get Lulu off the table and Rated has had less impact.
I would just make sure that once you exit the draft that you can count the lanes, the matchups. Do we get pushed in top? If the answer is yes, then you better not get pushed in the middle and bottom as well, because then it doesn't matter what Svensson is playing, he will invade and make your life miserable. But honestly, this is not a style. Usually, at least expect it can go 50-50 in terms of pressure in the mid lane. Origin don't really play around it that much, but they at least pick him champions that he can go even with. Maybe not the Vladimir, but he hasn't really been picking that too much recently. Just so pick push against SK. Don't let them push you in and play their style. Just keep them back. Don't let Svensson invade, and then individually and as a team, Origin should technically outclass this SK Gaming lineup. But that's only my opinion, of course, and we'll have to see how it plays out on the Rift.
You could have said the same theory against Gambit yesterday for Origin.
Yeah.
Could have.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Picks and bans will be coming up in just a brief moment, and we'll find out exactly how and where these teams prioritize their picks and bans. For SK, it's a matter of playing with their backs against the wall, but carefree. And for Origin, it's actually for proving they belong in second place, with H2K dropping to Copenhagen Wolves. That second semi-final berth is one step closer.
Yeah, and the last time these two teams faced off, it was a different time, a different meta. Origin was on the rise, SK was looking shaky. Completely, look at those picks right there. You know, Sejuani, we haven't seen her in quite a while. Vladimir mid, maybe Urgot, the 80 carry position. Things have shifted around quite a bit. List is obviously still up there, mildly nerfed. Origin, they're hitting the points. Yeah, they're hitting exactly picks that SK played yesterday. They want to get rid of the comfort. No Nidalee hard invades, no Jace, you know, from Fox coming out to support that. Really just want to shut that down.
No bans yet towards Enrated either.
Nope.
We've seen those Lulus banned out actually 4 times in recent weeks. Azir taken away from Fox.
Could be overconfidence. Rated has performed very well on the Lulu because it allows them to push. Just have the defensive peel in teamfight. Just press R, Wild Growth, knock him up. Facilitate that 2v2 push that so Candy Panda and Rated just like doing so much.
So Victor is still up and available. A champion that both of these players have run in the mid lane.
I would argue Varus is a better pick there. A little bit of jungle pressure in return on SK Gaming, and this prompts the Gragas first pick from Origin. They are not comfortable with digging deep for the Lee Sin.
Lister.
However, SK Gaming, maybe Candy Panda has played her. However,
Niels
knows how to play that champion too, so Niels is actually a player that I could see Tristana on as a counter to the Kalista in the lane. I'm actually hoping that actually comes to play so I can see the matchup playing on the stage, because you can theorize so much as you want. You can play as much solo queue as you want. You kind of still need to see it happen on the stage.
Yeah, we'll see if it gets locked in. It was going to be the Gragas, so SK have already burned through 30 seconds of their first rotation worth of picks. Alistar up, Kallista's up, top lane is up. There's no real pressure on the jungler.
They could pick a jungler to just not give away information too much, you know, keep the other roles dark. They could also lock some priority picks here. Thresh is not really an unrated champion, but you could get it away from mid. The Alistar is an unrated champion that we have seen in the past. However, with the lock-on, as we're shifting over, that goes one theory out of the winner. Victor, as you said, locked in. We might see a Varus mirror that we've seen a couple of times already today. On the other side, Alice likely picked up by Miffy here.
Maybe Pekka will run Irelia into Victor. You've seen it twice in EU already. Not expecting it, but of course, Kalista up, making it to the third rotation. Kalista has fallen a tiny bit off the number one priority because of the nerf, because of the changes in the patch, but it's still exceptionally powerful.
Also because of poke, I guess, but they could set up for a Kalistar bot lane, but they choose not to do so. So far, obviously, we're still hovering. Shouldn't quite pay too much attention to that. Let's focus on what SK Gaming locked in. Victor for Fox. So he has that wave clear pressure already. Shen could be a split push tool on the side of SK Gaming. Candy Panda could actually go Varus AD carry to steal that away from Peke. We've seen stranger things in the LCS. I like Varus as an AD carry. I think he actually does well into Corki too.
Who would you pair with a support if Freddy is not going to run Shen?
Maybe Yona. It's old school way, man. It's back to season 2.
Rated played a lot of Leona.
Yeah, he could.
Well,
Or Annie. Something that sets up your ultimate, but I think we're theorizing.
yeah, we're having a bit of fun with this one.
Yeah. Let's see what they do. So if that Gnar gets locked in, that removes the flex potential from that Shen. However, that would mean that SK values hiding their AD carry more than flexing their Shen. That is a tad weird. They want to see the full bot lane of Origin, then decide whether they want to swap AD carry or 2v2 AD carry. Corki Thresh is an okay lane. It has more offensive tools than a usual Corki lane has, but it's still a Corki lane that you tend to prefer in a swap. Thresh will be a fantastic roamer, so Corki solo experience is what you want, Thresh roaming is what you want. Thresh operates well on low levels. You go full wolf style level 2 when your AD carry bang is level 6, all possible. And that Varus that was hovered by SK Gaming has been locked in by Origin.
And the moment it was locked in, Svenskeren actually lifted his hands up and put them down. I mean, maybe SK was, they were expecting it, but it was a cost they made. The Gnar for Freddy is his most played champion. That's the 5th time in the team's 16 games.
Yeah, but now look at Candy Panda. You have to make it work. You have one AD carry banned out on Sivir, one picked away on Corki. If you want to wait this long for your AD carry pick, you better make it worth it. I want to see it Raven. But yeah, Kalista being hovered. Kog'Maw perhaps. Alright, so a different style here. SK scaling AD carry, low mobility. Scaling mid laner, low mobility if you don't count the Q. I mean, he's easily caught off guard.
Yeah.
That is the point we're trying to make. However, in terms of raw lockdown, there is no flash W from a Maokai coming out. We have peel from Shen, we have peel from Gnar. We have defensive kick from Lee Sin. You can't underestimate that. Just kick somebody out when they're piling on top of your carries. Straight line, you just play bowling with them. Could be enough for SK Gaming to keep Kog'Maw and Fox's Victor alive.
And that's the first time that Candy Panda has played the Kog'Maw
The Kog'Maw.
this summer. So first time Cog for him, into of course all the poke in the range from Gragas, from Rumble, from Corki.
Yeah, let's run over
A lot of importance on positioning.
Let's run over the Origin composition. It is what we last week would have called the extreme definition of the meta composition. Rumble in the top lane, which is magic damage, soft engage or follow-up engage. We have double poke with 80 poke in the mid lane, and then the hybrid damage coming out of Corki in the bot lane with the magic damage poke. So full-on meta composition. But we've had time to develop counter plays to meta. Will it be the Shen Talon Flash engages and just the zone control coming out of Victor? We'll see.
Well, you guys know what to do. Will Upset Friday continue? Will SK pick up the victory? If you think so, hashtag SK win.
Or is Origin going to take it? Hashtag OG win.
Hot,
Original gangsters here on the Rift.
the heartthrob Peke playing the Heart Seeker Varus.
It would be traditional if this game ends in a heart-stopping backdoor. Peke did it against SK, right? Memory serves correct.
It's a long time ago, back when Enrated used to play for Fnatic. And Peke played for Fnatic as well. How times have changed.
Crepo was still good at the game. How times have changed.
That's debatable.
Debatable. when Crepo believed he was still good at the game.
Crepo, I love you, and you're definitely self-deprecating. You don't need to.
I have moderate amounts of affection for you two. Alright, defensive line of scrimmage, no team.
Access denied.
Access denied.
Defensive fan across the river. 2 hour-long games make you a little loopy, apparently. No invades yet.
Nope.
But we have seen late invades that have almost cost kills.
Svenskeren, he's playing Lee Sin. Traditionally, what SK like doing, I've harped on this before, is push in and counter jungle. Get that aggression going. Same way Shook wants to get some openings on the Lee Sin. Obviously, Gragas scales better as he can build full tank. Becomes a disruption. Body slam flash is crucial. If it hits Fox with no flash or Candy Band with no flash, the fight is over. Body slam flash into knockback. Follow up with the Varus ulti is enough to wreak havoc.
And it is the 3rd consecutive victor we've seen today. Fox now is opting for flash heal as opposed to cleanse. And it's Ghost Flash for Pekka's Varus.
Reminiscent of yesterday. Fox not leashing, going for the insta push on Victor. Hope. I want to keep the camera on the mid lane, see if he's going to immediately start spamming that E on the minions. Or not. And then Freddy leashing in the top lane. OG rarely do a camp, they always seem to stop the enemy.
Now it's a long time past, Crepo, but that little graphic that flashed up. When OG did play that Urgot in week 2, that was the game that had over 30 kills, and Origin just showed off. So, level 1, Raids and Candy.
You gotta focus the 80 carry.
Sideways, Frost Bomb comes out. Supports take a lot of damage.
You always want to focus 80 carries in these trades. Not sure why Candy Panda decided to go melee range there. Waited, got into melee range too. This is double range advantage, so this lane could actually go into Corky's favor, because there's AoE wave clear too. And Raided will do his best to zone here, but if he eats a flay, he can get counter traded upon. If he just wants to zone as much, hit these creeps. Level 2 race is on the 3rd creep of the 2nd wave, provided that experience wasn't lost level 1. So both teams are racing, and then you switch the aggression because everybody's
hits.
tunneling in.
Ignites have traded 200 HP apiece. Candy Panda's down, Mythy's low as well, but it's 80 carry for SK. The taunt connects on Niels as well as the Void, who's Candy and Rated actually got the earlier level 2. Mythy
because they
and
missed the creep. Niels and Mythy went aggressive because they weren't going to level up on the 3rd creep. We see it right there. It died already, so they're trying to deny SK that level up. But then SK realized that they can just get level 2 counter trading. So beautiful exchange here. Really, really interesting to see how that develops. I wonder if SK was aware of the experience deficit OG had.
So all of the consumables used for Candy and Niels. Enrated's burned through his. Only Mythy with a cookie left in his pocket. We caught quick glimpses of the junglers. Amazing started to back. We saw Svenskeren moving to his blue.
Have a look at the push. Pekka has push advantage in mid. Because bottom is pushing in. Top is pushing in. Imagine if Fox was pushing in mid lane right now. That would mean Svenskeren had free reign to counter jungle. He doesn't have that right now. Be careful. Pekka is playing very bold here. Has that ward on the right side, so he's hoping that Svenskeren will show. And he does.
Let's see what Sven can do with this. Because when SK are winning games, or when SK are performing well, it's when Sven is invading and stealing away buffs. We've seen him do this countless times throughout the split. There's nothing to steal this time around. Amazing. Delayed his blue. It's a little later than we've seen.
Sven
early back off the Gromp.
Sven went for a peek there. Didn't find the red buff, so he knows Amazing is probably on the left side of things right now. It's very hard for him to gank bot with that offensive tri-ward out of SK Gaming 2. SK Gaming have the push on bottom. Soaz neutralized the push on top because Svenskeren showed on the bottom side of the map. So that means Soaz has the liberty for the next 45 seconds to a minute at least. Play aggressive on the top lane. He's now stacking that wave. Amazing. Might see some action in the mid lane. Wards faded on both sides. Watch body slam flash. That's the key thing here.
Sven is going to be close enough to support Fox. I think Pekka and Amazing had the inkling that was a possibility. Almost trading halves of the jungle.
Yeah, if you know that they know, and so on, and so, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you know.
Then you back off and you go to the Raptors instead. And then you get the wards, you smite the Raptors, and you get the knowledge where those wards are. Deep pink ward, I like this. I really like that pink ward. It is so hard to spot that as a jungler, and it gives you so much information, even if you don't see anybody. Again, eliminating options of the board can let you pinpoint where people are. Good deep vision control, and this again, on turn, allows Soaz to play aggressively in this matchup. He now gets a poke advantage on Freddy. Every time Freddy goes for the minions, Soaz turns on the barbecue, spitting fire.
Well, it's a great matchup. Both Soaz and Freddy are playing their most played champions this split. 5 games on Rumble, 5 games on Freddy. Soaz's Rumble is 17-6, 49. Phenomenal statistics on that champion.
Yeah, he's definitely a fantastic Rumble player. Even better in this patch with the new items. But over in the mid lane, Pekka has a small lead and a big pressure lead. Niels is comfortably farming. However, the one thing working...
Wait, curving the hook. Mithy's actually gone in. Only
connect.
played in Rated. And Rated's going to get the dash taunt. Niels turns his attention to the Monarch Butterfly Kog'Maw. Mithy's forced away. Finally using that last cookie. But he's low on
Mithy
HP.
channeling his inner Angelina Jolie to curving that hook as if it were a bullet. But you have to connect in that matchup with Candy Panda because having Shenton in top flash.
That's a taunt flash! One tower, but Candy gets hooked! The flame gets under the tower. Not long enough for the tower to pull aggro. The Lantern pulls Candy in. Icathian surprise! Gets it. Trade 1 for 1.
Miffy with the Lantern, he drags the Niels and then flashes in offensively. He knows he's going to die in that exchange anyways, so he drops off Niels at the next station, closer to First Blood Valley, and then Niels picks that up. And this is big. This lane is still pseudo-frozen. So Niels can just CS and get a big experience advantage here. That's exactly what Corki wants, trading 1 for 1. AD carry for support. Doesn't take a good analyst to realize that that's the favorable trade.
Origin on the board, but there is a reply. So Candy Pan has made his way closer to lane. Picked up that Sheen. Longsword, there's an extra Ruby Crystal for Niels.
Yeah, good taunt flash from Unrated. Just makes me wonder why do that when you ignite just down. I mean, you know they still have heal at their disposal. And then you're so easily hooked in. Good control by Mithy. There's almost out of mana for that play.
Chain of Corruption
going in.
connects. Fox is in trouble.
Knock.
Amazing. Body slam, gonna connect. Doesn't even need the flash. Doesn't have access to explosive cast, but he won't need it. 2-1, OG.
And style points for the Lantern exit. Mithy getting an assist. Even if you shield somebody after they have done damage, you still get an assist. Mithy, again, roaming. This is what he likes to do on first base. You will almost always see Mithy path in by Raptors into the enemy's jungle to drop deep wards. There's just so much more value to them than if you place them close to lane. And ward in the enemy jungle works to find the enemy jungler. Keep your mid laner and your bot lane safe. A ward around your bot lane only keeps your bot lane safe. So you have to play this game as a team.
Mithy doing just that. We did catch a very brief glimpse of the top lane. Hex Drinker picked up for Freddy. Pink ward deep. This is what you talked about in the earlier games today.
And nobody walks into that brush unless you suspect something. So no noise from the crowd. Shh. Unsuspecting Svenskeren. Thinks he's ganking. He's off HP right now. This gives Soaz some knowledge. Okay, at least he's in half HP on the top side. We now know what his likely pathing is going to be. Either he's going to base right there. We can expect him in 40 seconds, or he will lane gank. If then Freddy doesn't give that away, it's sneaking. Just like Amazing is sneaking in here.
He's gonna get the cast. Lands the bunk barrel. Wow, that was great.
You saw him hesitate almost. He body slammed, and at the end of the animation, he was like, do I need to flash? No, because this dude doesn't have flash. That was a beautiful explosive cast.
That just looked so easy.
That was...
Well,
That's what, if I try that, Kog'Maw lands in the tower.
So well played by Amazing. Good, successful gank. The vision that was placed by Mithy earlier.
Here's Sven. Sven is still looking for that first kill, aggressively sin pick. Remember, SK brought this upon themselves. They pincered the jungle in the picks and bans, saying, Origin, you are going to first pick that Gragas or we'll take it, but we will get value in return. Value is not paying off right now for SK Gaming.
The value that SK prioritized was the Shen and the Victor. That was their first rotation picks. Despite the fact that Rated has a support, Fox in the mid lane has already been successfully ganked. And Amazing's Gragas, which was the first pick champion, has been involved in 2 of the 3 kills that Origin have picked up.
1,000 gold up. Pekka is just, that's what you do with Varus. You lurk around these corners, try and stay out of vision. This is why we see more and more wards in the middle of the lane placed very often too, to avoid that poke. Svenskeren, he wants to land the insect. Ward dashing to kick. He spotted again. So such good warding from Origin so far. With very few wards placed, they seem to pinpoint every time. Amazing goes close. And look at Miffy. Because Corki's level 7, you don't need to support him anymore. He's roam.
Yeah, but we'll catch another glimpse of this top lane battle. Soaz overheating, out trading Freddy, but as Freddy gets closer to Mega Knock, Soaz backs away. And we just saw that movement of Mithy and Amazing through the river, through the jungle. It's the second time this game already. And you were telling a story 3 weeks ago about how top-tier teams have got these threats in every role, and one of the things you liked was the jungle support synergy.
Yeah.
OG definitely demonstrating that.
Now, Enrated doesn't have to roam and support Shen. which honestly he wasn't the best at doing because he can use Stand United to get there. So he can put pressure on the bot lane while still being able to go to the top lane, for example. One thing you can do is as a support as well, just roam, get the other support gone, go back to bot lane, try gank. So many options. If you thrive in chaos, you can win this chess game. Amazing right now. He wants to thrive as well. He's looking on the top lane to body slam over in darkness. Svenskeren.
Good to see Sven.
Hello.
Sven's gonna have small drink provided by Amazing. Sonic wave into the resonating strike. Equalizer.
Miscommunication.
Defensive.
That could have been a kill. They could have fought him, but Soaz just said, okay, let's just make sure you survive. It's okay. Erring on the side of caution is definitely what you want to do. Niels now has the push advantage. Hook and poke, hook and poke. And look at how he's poking Candy Panda, because we know you hook the support, the AD is going to walk up in support. Why would you damage the support if you can hit the AD carry? It's these little things that separate good players from the best ones.
With the kill that Niels and Mithy set up for themselves, they've got a 20 CS advantage. He's going to get taunted up, but Candy Pan is far enough away. The box comes down from Mithy. Niels is committed onto Candy, but Enrated is going to finish off Mithy, his opposite number. Defensive Velk. And this time, SK commit and get the kill.
2v2, and we're starting to see why Shen's support has been such highly valued over in North America in LCS. Not quite so much in Europe, but Enrated and Candy Pan are straight up thugging 2v2, winning that trade, and Karma outscales vastly. And look at the items. This was Phage Sheen against Sheen with Phage components. So under itemized, SK Gaming wins that trade. They do burn the flash now, and Rated can basically roam, and then alternatively he can also teleport back to bottom lane should Candy Panda require it. He has double defensive summoner alive, so we could see Enrated go mid here.
And I also think important to note that Enrated and Candy committed to that fight with Ignite. Previously, they committed without Ignite, and it ended up costing them.
With lane gang coming in here, Miffy wants to Lantern into body slam flash. Lantern flash aggressively is what he's looking for. And United's available. Might see some action here.
So Mithy's going to walk over a ward, and Rated's been caught out. Where is the lantern from Mithy? Held for now. Amazing did show in front of the minions.
And then the flame mind game start. You want to interrupt taunt, but you kind of have to predict it this close to a wall. Good hold from Enrated. Look at top. Svensken shown by another ward.
So as interrupted. Equalizer's available, as is Flash.
Good job, Svensken. Don't go in. Wait for the minions. You just cancelled him. This is a race against the minions. Soaz just wants to survive.
Minions are trying to be killed. Flash, he's down.
Good controlled aggression from Svensken. Don't get trigger happy just because you proc that Q. Doesn't mean you have to go in, and I'm talking to all my solo Q junglers right here. Stop him and dive him. Good execution. First blood on the hands. Well, first kill on the hands for Svensken, and that's what he's looking for with his aggressive Lee Sin pick.
But it did cost SK a tower in the bottom lane. Amazing made sure to zone away Candy and Rayton. Pekka continues to win the pressure, the tempo game in the mid lane. And that Varus is just shoving in Fox's Victor.
And League of Legends at its finest. We see a play with 2 members of SK at the top lane. That means a play with 4 members of Origin in the bot lane.
For Origin. Teleport comes out now from Soaz. There's no equalizer because he just died using it up top. Dragon actually sends a shot onto Mithy. Continues to spam fire onto SK and Origin. No allegiance for the neutral creep. SK have thwarted that Dragon attempt.
Origin looking for a first Dragon, something to do very often. 11 first Dragons so far in their 15 first games. Looking to make it 12, 16.
It's a fantastic statistic.
It just shows that they usually have the pressure, and it also shows that they tend to lose when they don't. Visual touched upon it on the analyst desk. If they get behind in the mid game, Origin is lost, but they are now 1.2k gold up and 15 with a comfortable composition, a lot of damage, so no scaling worries, even though Candy Panda and Fox do a lot of damage in late game. But we've seen SK falter with these double threat compositions, getting to late game. Somebody gets caught out.
And able to find the damage where they need to. You see the itemization differences here for Peke and Fox. And what tower's going down? This is all the pressure we talked about. Enrated's down. He's caught. Chaos Storm's onto Mithy, but look at that. Equalizer, Chain of Corruption in the Gragas barrel. Takes Candy Panda out. Mithy even gets out alive. And Origin get the tower.
Like taking candy from a baby. Origin take candy from SK Gaming. You kill 2 people, get the tower, go to the Dragon. So you want to do, you want to group up with Varus and Corki. Start the siege, start the poke. When SK inevitably step forward to clear that wave, that's when you use Chain of Corruption. On top of that, the equalizer. If they flash backwards, you get the tower anyways. If they don't flash, you get kills and a tower. Beautiful mid-game spike. Origin playing to their strengths.
And I'm going to expand on what you mentioned earlier, Crepo. 12 first dragons in 16 games, all from this team fight.
Now look at it. You have to walk forward to clear the wave, and then you walk into the hook. Candy Panda stands still. Chain of Corruption comes in. And then the equalizer. Fox has to walk backwards. Explosive cast to finish up that kill. So is this untouched at this point. Complete liberty to do whatever they want on the Origin side, and SK is crumbling.
Also on the side of Origin, all that work from Pekka's Varus earlier just gets finalized the moment that Trinity Force was completed. Making sure it's that step-by-step process, and you can already see Niels and Mythy set their sights to the next outer turret, which is up in the top lane. Yes, please, we would like this one next.
Yeah, support is but an option for Mythy. You know, the notion that supports have to be bottom all the time is long, long gone. As League of Legends keeps evolving, and Mythy came out in a couple of interviews at the start of Split, yeah. Whereas in Season 3, he was such a predominant lane-focused player with the offensive fiddlesticks and the likes. Now he's just a roamer. There though, 3-6.
It's gonna get caught, he's not super tanky.
Restraint on the side of Origin, they don't commit, they just poke out. That's what you do, you're playing poke-comp. Don't go for all-ins unless you have to.
And of course, the objective is the tower.
Yeah.
Origin making sure they don't lose sight of the goal that they're playing for.
And look at the pink ward over at the red buff that we talked about earlier. It's still available in SK's backs. So again, Origin get information from that. That is so much value. It survived for roughly like 14 minutes already.
Yeah.
On a gold. Money well spent.
Not a regularly walked through part of the jungle in the early stages of the game. So tower should
They just pinged it. They just found it.
Should be secured uncontested.
Now Svenskern wonders, how long has that thing been here? Oh, you can cheer for that one. That one, I'll give you that one, Berlin.
Thank you for that, Crepo. 4,000 gold up. Origin, 3 towers to 0. They've got a dragon. They've got a kill advantage. Now we need to see how do they poke SK out to get to the inner turret.
I love playing poke with double pink wards at the side. This allows Varus to move a little farther up. Flying possibilities are gone. More pressure. More pressure means SK can't counter jungle or invade, make picks. You need to make picks with this Lee Sin jungle. If you deny that, Gragas has the inevitable battle of scaling, even though he opts into Sidestone. Cinderhulk, Sidestone, tankiness, perhaps an Aegis coming out. All these stats synergize so well. CC bot, you're the prime tank. Thank you very much.
Sad Freddy. It's amazing. He's just going to put the barrel down. Pekka continues to shove up the mid lane. 20 CS advantage, 40 CS advantage for Niels versus Candy Panda.
Yeah, and this is the 5th pick Kog'Maw. We have to remember, SK Gaming, their entire draft was based around hiding that 80 carry pick. We expected greatness, but it wasn't just quite enough. They did get a 2v2 solo kill on the Origin's bot lane, which is impressive. But there was no objective tied to it, and that's what Origin is doing this game. Every move they make, every step they take, they want an objective attached to that. I'll be watching you, yes. The song reference is there. I know you can't find it. It's okay, keep looking. Keep talking about the game, Trevor.
I was actually trying to find the next line. I'm like,
Yeah.
every breath, every step. I'm like, what comes next?
I'll be watching you, just like wards are watching the jungle.
Couldn't remember. Right,
SK
Crepa,
Gaming.
I'll get serious now. We're approaching 20 minutes. Origin have got a very, very strong lead.
Yep.
And yesterday we highlighted a stat that Origin were behind at 20 minutes. They've lost games. 3 games they were behind. Yesterday was the 4th and they lost it, so they're 0-4. But when they're ahead at 20, they have won 10 out of the 11 games. So they know how to close games. And that's what we're going to need to see demonstrated from Origin once more.
Yeah, that's why at the start of the season, leading up until that fabled Origin versus Fnatic, we were kind of almost giving credit, hey, Origin might actually win this because their wins were more explosive. Up until the part where they were diving fountains at the end of the game, they were not dying that much. Different times though, Pekka no longer playing Vladimir, opting for the Varus, and honestly, Varus in Europe has been weirdly a tier 1 pick, always gets to pick and ban, right? At least recently, but does so well. Just go for that chain of corruption, people forget about it, and then it spreads, and you don't really see the particle all that well.
Talking about something else that Origin have spread. Vision. 3 pink wards in the bottom half of the map. Multiple stealth wards in the jungle of SK, and they've set their sights on the bottom inner turret. That's the objective. They've grouped up for it.
The problem when you're winning this hard, your pink wards are kind of useless. So you kind of want them deep in the jungle, but you don't really want to spend another 100 gold because you want that fabled 20-minute pink ward on the map. So catch up. Ready? Taking some gold back here. Tower's destroyed. Now Origin need to look to use that to their advantage. They're stuck on the bottom lane. It's obviously hard to find an opening. Poke is not as strong yet. Svensker is flanking in the mid lane. Pekka has to move.
We'll find out if we can find anything. We did catch a brief glimpse of Candy Panda there, just interesting to note. He's not put any skill points into Q, that Caustic Spittle. So
it is normal for Kog'Maw's under pressure to do that because you really don't trade with it all too much. Yes, it's another Triforce proc, perhaps, but you're fine just getting that wave clear from that E. There's even Kog'Maw builds where you don't put any points in W, not any additional points in W, and you just max straight up E to level 3 for engage and wave clear. When enemies engage on a minion, you put the E down and you trade. Various possibilities on this Kog'Maw. Right now, his job right now, Candy Panda wants to wave clear, keep this lane alive. Victor on Fox wants to wave clear. And they want to wait for the split push pet that is Freddy. That's when he thrives. Has the Frozen Mallet as well. Connect one Q and auto and keep going, keep going.
Glad you actually bring that up, because of course, if Origin keep this siege up and start to poke down underneath the towers, it's all on Fox and Candy and their mana pools.
And then obviously Origin's approach to the game is, yeah, they get tier 1 towers, they scratch at the surface of the tier 2s and they can't find it, so they resort back to the Dragon. Second Dragon picked up 22 minutes, so Aspect is a very late win condition. We will likely see Origin move their vision control to the red side jungle. MSK Gaming forced them out. In about 4 or 5 minutes, I expect to start setting up those Baron plays. Meanwhile, Candy Panda wants to see as much farm as he can, scale back into the game.
Needs a lot of time for that, Crepo. 40 CS down, Triforce versus almost completed Blade of the Ruined King. Pekka just went back to pick up his last Whisper. He said the man immune for a while, Brutalizer. We also just saw a Leandri's Torment picked up for Soa, so he's, as far as Rumble's concerned, fully switched on.
Yeah, flame on.
Freddy, also with a Frozen Mallet and Hex Drinker. I'm just going to quickly look. Fox, 430 AP. Of course, that Hex Core Mark II giving 110 AP, plus the bonus AP from Death Cap is synergizing quite nicely for some more stats, but not a lot of CDR. And
there's quite some damage on SK Gaming. With the slightly offensive Gnar, we can actually move away from the paradigm that is a 2-carry composition and call it a triple carry threat. However, good itemization from Amazing here. Not many junglers like building Sidestone because, you know, it's a team item. Not many junglers like building Aegis and Sidestone because it's a team item. But hey, what? It's a team game, guys. Build that Aegis because it's so efficient against Victor, Poke. Candy Panda is very large part before the fights are setting up. Magic damage even in the fights. So, good itemization here. Allows your other parts of your team to itemize a little more selfishly. So we see a good guy Baron chunking out Svensker.
Just a love tap. Well, all that's going on. So as is pushing out the bottom wave, playing it relatively safe. He's not actually gone past the Tri-Bush. Not a lot of vision in SK's jungle. Those wards have timed out.
Remember, we are seeing a poke comp at hand with a Rumble at the side lane, so it is normal that this goes slowly. Just controlled aggression is what you want. Lantern in the brush before you face check. Lantern has a bigger cast range than wards. Definitely want to do that. Slowly inching forward. So we are cheering on Origin as they do this. Rush tech with hook.
Hopeful death sentence.
Nah, you really don't want to find anything there. You're happy it doesn't connect.
We'll have to see how Origin decide to crack open the base. They've got some wards in the top half of the jungle. Decided to group
I
up
like
middle.
that offensive pink ward. Left side Raptors. Look at those pink wards from Origin right now. This is what you need to do because your trinkets go on too long cooldowns in this very turbulence-heavy mid-game where people are sneaking in wards left and right. Pink wards last forever. Sweepers are temporary, pink wards last forever. Until they're killed, obviously.
Until they're killed, and what a depressing turn that is. Mythy and Amazing are on the Bramble back. They've got numbers. The rest of Origin below. Going to come down to a smite fight, I feel. And it looks like Amazing won it.
Yep, Svenskers was bringing Bramble back, but wasn't enough. Stolen by Origin, a small victory for them, but they're choking out the vision. One ward is left behind enemy lines there. One little spot on your mini-map. That's where potential teleport flying from Freddy can come in with the Mega Gnar.
So, with all of these CS...
Crying Orb, Scrying Orb. I keep calling it Crying Orb. There's no tears just yet. As long as they can find that Baron alive and well, it is still a Scrying Orb.
So, all of the CS that Freddy's picking up, he's got a sizable lead over Soaz. It is costing Pekka Fox rather, because Pekka is climbing, and it's costing
Yep.
Candy, because Niels is climbing. That's the trade-off of these battles.
Definitely trade off. But this is what happens. Every time you put Scrying Orb down, it buys you 5-6 seconds that they're not doing Baron. Allows you to sneak in a ward now. And Rated is going to move up because he doesn't want to get hooked, but he does get hooked.
Well, gonna force to be flashing away and then dashing over the wall.
But that's another 30 seconds bot. Now, they're going to send in somebody else. A new challenger approaches.
It's not super effective. However, Freddy is. He was able to zone out Soaz, and he will secure the second tower of the game for SK.
And Rated had to make that move. Good flash, because if he tries to taunt his way out of there, he gets flake cancel. Now Mithy. Oh, Niels, insect.
Oh, Niels has got the Chaos Storm! Catches Mithy and Niels. Sven's looking for the kill. He will find it! Now, Svenskera gets caught out by the box. Stand United's coming out, and Rated will arrive. That's a taunt into Amazing, as Soaz completes his teleport. He's gonna roast the Butterfly. The Monarch is down as Freddy is forced to flash defensively. Death Sentence connects onto Fox, and everybody wants to die. SK are aced, and only Pekka is left standing.
From the grave. Fox takes out Mithy in the end there. What a fight. Beautiful opening by Svenskera. And even though that fight turned out 5-4 in terms of deaths, this was still a fantastic opening from Svenskera. I almost want to see that again. Just zero hesitation to do that against the Thresh. The Thresh of the caliber of Mithy is bold. Very nimble, swift kick there. However, Origin, TP in, and Rated arguably a little late on Stand United. Good pacing by Svenskera as well. Things to watch out for here is Q connects, path. Side steps. Oh, this is so good. Ping pong with Mithy as well. Fox flash aggressively, just what he had to do. Get the damage. Svenskera finishes off Niels. I want you to watch where and Rated is in this Stand United. It's kind of like Svenskera is dodging damage. Now this equalizer that's about to come out is so beautiful because Candy Pan has to flash defensively. This means Soaz can flash aggressively. No Zonia, so he will drop. The Pekka is untouched. And Mithy, he thinks he's going to live. Does he actually get the shield? Yeah, he does get the shield from his own lantern. But it's not enough.
5 for 4. That was fun to watch.
Yes.
But it still results in Origin maintaining a lead and getting another tower.
But you're playing against Poke, which means usually you want your flashes to be used aggressively to engage fights. No flash on Sven, Fox, Candy, and Rated, or Freddy. All 5 flashes are down. This means a lot more liberty for Xpeke and Niels to move upwards. Obviously, they don't have flashes. The only threat right now, the man to watch, is Svenskeren. He needs to connect another Q and get another kickoff. Otherwise, OG have complete zone and poke control.
We currently have Dragon control. We've got 2 before.
Oh, we might see a Baron here.
SK want to play. Cogwall
And peel off.
is good at killing Barons. Sven is good at finding Soaz. Equalizes out 1v2. Soaz is going to start overheating. He might turn this around. That's not a tanky shed. We do see the Chaos Storm coming out. Double kill for Pekka as the piercing arrow pierces SK's heart. Another one out to Candy Panda. The big barrel bonk onto Candy as the body slam follows. Cogmore's going to stay alive, and Mithy is going to save Amazing. Niels Valks in aggressively. That's how you do it properly. Pekka ends up getting the kill. I believe that's the 3rd of the fight. Going to be looking for more.
Bold prediction, SK is going to get aced here.
Oh, good call, Cotton. Niels is going to steal a kill away. No, I didn't even notice Pekka actually died a moment ago. Hope for more, but another ace in favor of Origin.
Soaz, impressive damage there on that Rumble. That's what we were talking about, the Liandry's early. Getting kicked in the extra AP, which means Rumble does more damage to squishy targets, because obviously percent damage isn't as efficient against these squishies. Look at Soaz, you're dancing on the equalizer. Then Sven says, no, I don't want to get barbecued here. Kick, turn around Soaz into the Chaos Storm, but he follows. Could have actually opted not to do so. Let's see, where does Pekka go down? Can't quite see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Probably going to walk into a Victor E or something.
We're about to find out.
Where does Pekka die? Oh yeah, walks into a double Victor E proc as Niels Valks aggressively.
Yeah. I was so excited that Niels Valkyrie was successful that I missed Pekka dying.
Full caster, don't look at explosive viruses.
Niels does.
Great
Glad
play
to
by
grab
Niels,
some more.
4-1-4. Rarely dies in these wins. He's very good at knowing when to go in and when not to. So very controlled aggression by him. Red buff being contested by both these teams. It's always step 1. Instead of peeling back towards Baron, they go for the tower though, it seems.
And of course, Baron is going to be a threat if Origin maintain control of the vision. You can see the stats. SK's got a number of Barons. Candy Panda, he's been found, and Candy Panda's been fried. So as an amazing, just tag team him backwards. Tower will drop. Numbers advantage, no TP for Freddy. Origin may go for that Baron.
Yeah, Candy Panda came out saying how much liberty they had, how they could play with so much freedom. Well, to still be a little bit careful, that low mobility Kog'Maw. It's not the first time he got knocked into the team. Yes, he's waiting for Flash. Svenskeren drops.
Wow, Fox is coming with a Chaos Storm, so as his Hourglass will keep him alive a few seconds longer. Lantern pulls him out to safety. It's at least
need some help from the
delayed
team.
Baron. No, they'll still get it.
Yeah. Look at the bottom lane though. Freddy is trying to do his best, but it's not enough, and Rated wants to peek in, confirm. Yes, guys, they did pick, in fact pick up Baron. They hurt. Mayday, mayday.
Mayday indeed. So as is trying to chase down, as we see Rated trying to get away.
If he wanted to go for the Lantern Flash, but then second guess themselves, is it really worth flashing to send a message? No. At this point, I'd rather save it, to help my team. Could have flashed over the wall technically, but what do you get from a support kill? There's not enough momentum tied into that, so sometimes you want to preserve your summoners. Origin are likely, of course, going to siege up now with that Baron buff. Fantastic analysis there, Crabbo. Let's see if they go for a 4-1, full-on dive. Multiple options available for them.
For Enrated, he pick up that Banner of Command, as did Mythy, in fact. So we could see a lane where Banter of Command empowered minions will do battle with one another.
I love Banner, such a fun item. If you can finish that, if you sit on an Aegis and you finish a Baron, it's so satisfying. Hang on, Soaz.
Soaz is going to get booted backwards. Stand United comes out.
Just not enough.
Soaz is also going to get taunted. Niels and Pekka is there. That's going to be trading support for top lane. Freddy's about to go mega. Amazing. Has got explosive cask available, but a good gravity field. Will disengage. Traded top for support. I think SK will be okay with that.
SK's happy with that. Almost got to connect on the Candy Panda Ooze on his floor there, but it wasn't enough to slow Soaz down. He had Zhonya's available, but his main priority was getting the Equalizer out. Okay, steals away the blue buff. Prepared by Amazing right there. He's to hit target.
Giant minion.
That's one big minion. So not only does it get buffed by the Baron, it stays out of tower range as we know, and it is now immune to magic damage. This is the biggest proponent of Banner of Command, which means Poke from Victor will not take that down. It only hits his Freddy's Boomerang Blade, but you could slowly watch that cannon creep take it. But Fox, Chain of Corruption.
It connects. Fox is still alive for a few seconds longer. The cask will split up SK. Dragon's Rage will find Mythy, but that's not the target you're looking for. Svenskeren is going to be able to escape. He finds the Wolf Camp, but they may kill him. Auto attack's not going to connect, nor will the barrel. Locket, I believe, keeping Sven alive. Origin secured the inhibitor.
And obviously the Wolves are cheering for SK to lose here. We could see it in the cat right there. The Copenhagen Wolves, however, want SK to lose, because if SK win this game, the Wolves are automatically relegated. They're getting some help from neutral minions, unlike the Dragon, who's completely impartial. Wanted some Svenskeren blood right there.
Weren't able to get it this time round, but Origin will set themselves up for more. Another banner-empowered minion. Candy Panda's been caught, but he's flashed away to safety. The long-range auto attack plus a boomerang is going to be able to get a kill, but SK lose their tower. Origin still going to be happy.
Amazing kind of forgot that he didn't have his ultimate. Svenskeren does, though.
He's found Pekka, but there's no support from anybody else. Sven, you need a team if you want to jump in. With him going down, Origin now reapply the siege. Banter of Command minion also helping on the inhibitor. Origin, 2 inhibitors down, decide to back away.
This is what they wanted. This is what they came for. They sacrificed their jungler in the process. But they open up 2 inhibitors right now. SK Gaming under pressure. 9,000 gold behind.
12 minutes. Let me rephrase that. 6 minutes from a potential aspect. Origin have had absolute dragon control this game. And actually they do exceptionally well with dragons throughout the split. Coming into this game, they'd actually secured the 2nd highest at 40 dragons.
Yeah, Origin have done a great job of not giving away too many objectives, and while the tower score reached 3, you would expect that to be the first 3 tier 1 towers. However, if you look in the mid lane, Expect's tower is still at 85%, and that's what we were talking about. Don't let Fox push you in, push aggressively. Pekka did that with only 1 Trinket Ward. He managed to spot Svenskeren coming around at the right side earlier at the 4-5 minute mark, so beautiful game read by the veteran Expect. honestly, this was step one into keeping SK at bay. Svenskeren did not find his opportunities in the early game. He eventually found a kill, had some sweet moves, but it was too late. OG was already in full motion.
And it's not the first time that that's happened to Sven either. He's played Lee Sin twice before. And Sven either goes huge and puts the entire of SK in his backpack, or he tends to be non-existent. It is a testament to the champion as well.
It is tied into their playstyle as well. Svenskeren tries when you push, he's probably one of the best triple lane push counter junglers because he capitalizes on everything. However, he needs help from his team. Oh, flank, Mega Gnar's
There is some help. Mega Gnar's going to pop. Chain of Corruption did not connect, and the Gnar gets a double stun into a double taunt into a double kill. SK have found two, and OG are in full retreat.
However, they found Soas and the support mid D. The key members are still alive. Poke from Pecky and Niels are still alive. However, that was a beautiful teleport from Freddy. He's not too happy with it though. Then again, Freddy, when are you happy?
Freddy suffers from a little bit of the Ryu syndrome. He's happy on the inside, I promise. Maybe not right now, because SK still have to dig very, very deep, and they've got so many super minions to deal with. But luckily, Fox and Candy will get some much-needed farm. One small solace.
Yeah, that's the...
Hey, I'm trying to dig a positive here.
Always look on the bright side of a down inhibitor. Farm, farm, farm. However, that farm turns into pressure. 1 minute, 15 seconds remain for Baron buff. OG didn't yield the pressure, but SK were looking for time and they got it. And now it's time for Origin to put on the pressure. No wards on the Baron at the moment. Next Baron buff could be crucial, could be vital to finish out this game. Both teams are aware of this though.
Origin used the previous Baron extremely effectively.
Yep.
One Baron buff, they got two inhibitors. This is the replay of their team fights.
Now let's see if there were any other options available for Freddy. He could have passed up there. There's a choke off. Soas from the team. Knock. Knock. Taunt. Stacks CC a bit. Fox goes aggressively. Used his flash, I believe, for that though. Double check. Yeah, he did in fact flash, so 2 kills for an offensive summoner that you need defensively. I mean, you can't even say it's a bad play because they got 2 kills. It makes me scared for SK's next fight. Keep your eyes on Fox and his positioning. He will need to go full Super Saiyan.
Nobody on SK has flash yet. Mixed and matched cooldowns.
And look at Origin. They're playing for Baron, but they're doing that by not moving towards the Baron. They're aware of their flanks. Chain of Corruption. Svenskeren drops.
Not gonna find Niels unprotected twice in a row.
You don't have to stand around the Baron to play for the Baron. That's what Origin is doing. Pressure on the bot lane, inhibits down. Pressure on the mid lane, inhibits down. Wards in the enemy jungle. Force SK to make predictable moves and then punish them. Good hook by Mithy. Now you can peel back. There's no smite. Valkyrie over the wall. Mithy's gonna...
No teleport from Freddy, no jungler.
Planted a little early. I'm helping, I'm shielding. Hey guys,
Easy Baron.
Support. Alright, Baron down, amazing, still half HP. Deciding whether he bases or not. And Soas, honestly, doing a phenomenal job on the split push rumble. Yes, he's died a couple times, but with his job, that's one big cannon creep right there. I always like naming them, too.
Naming them?
Yeah, usually Bob or something simple. Because you, as a support, you attach a bond to your cannon creep. You really want to watch it like Bob, one shot, two shots.
Bob's doing a great job of sieging down this tower.
And Victor can't touch it. Freddy has to start harassing this cannon creep, else we see the inevitable demise of this tower. Go, Bob.
Come on, Bob. You can do it. We believe in you.
All right, SK wants to flank. No teleport on Freddy either, because Soas is split pushing.
Oh, no.
Multiplying.
Oh, no. No, Bob.
So young. But he did his job.
That's the weirdest game we've ever played.
Yep. However, Soas is spreading out this Baron buff to the bot lane, and he's removing the hard engage on the side of SK because they really need that Gnar ulti to win fights. Svenskeren going in.
Wild's not going to find a target. Freddy's got Mega Gnar. The cask actually helps Freddy a touch. Pekka goes against the wall, and Candy Bandit gets the kill. Niels is hammering down on the side, though. They've traded 1 for 2. Niels seems to be getting the better of the deal. He's looking for more. The Void Ooze is going to slow them down. Ends up being a 2 for 2.
Great positioning by Fox in that fight, and amazing. With a bit of an oopsie. Look at the bottom lane though, that inhibits down.
Niels gets it! Niels gets the kill, the flash forward from the body slam of amazing. Gonna get more. Soas was burning down Fox, and Freddy's looking for the kill, but he's gonna get dropped as Niels gets more. 26 to 15. The inhibitor in the top lane has been cracked open.
Niels is 10-1 in 8, only died once, involved in 18 out of 26 kills. Origin looking to close.
Origin taking down the Nexus turrets. Killing SK's dreams for now, giving Copenhagen Wolves some hope, and more importantly, holding on to sole position of second place in the standings.
Amazing leads overs. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. Other than that, beautiful engages though. Early game, amazing. Had some very, very nice explosive casts. Very underrated to see how well he used that ability right there. Niels, you could always rely on him to position well. That is one thing you have there. Origin, it all came together. Mithy with the great roaming. So as, yeah, he died a couple times, but he achieved something with every death.
Yeah.
That's what matters. It doesn't matter how many times you give up your life, as long as you keep looking at those objectives. 11 towers at the end of the game to 3 inside of SK Gaming. 26 kills to 15, 4 dragons to none, 2 barons to 0.
I want to talk about those barons just a little more, because coming into this game, Fnatic are the team with the most barons for fairly obvious reasons. 24 secured. With this game played, Origin have 17. The next closest is 13, 12, 11, 11. Being at the top of the table helps, but what I liked about this game is just how Origin played around Baron. It wasn't inefficient. It wasn't dawdling. Unlike games you've seen earlier today, yesterday, etc., it was clean, it was efficient, and every time they started it, they either got it or they got kills because of it.
Hey, and I'm a sucker for good Baron plays. That's my passion right there, and I like the way Origin approached it. You just don't want to give your opponents any room for counterplay.
Yeah.
And you can do that through manipulating waves, manipulating vision. That's how you get that advantage. Eventually, your opponent has but 2 options, to yield or face check. Either way, you come out ahead.
Yeah.
And then for SK, it's buying time. Send in and raid. He has to use his flash, gets a ward, and that was good. Send in the scrying orb. Eventually, get that vision.
All for time.
Stall, stall, stall. But in the end, you have the pressure on top of you, and then you crumble.
And I still think for SK, they still had a lot of good moments.
Yep.
Freddy's Gnaw had brilliant engages. Sven found Niels extremely unexpectedly. Unfortunately, he tried maybe a little too hard to keep finding those great flanks.
It's hard though.
Of course
body
it is.
slam, cancel,
Yeah.
play cancel. He had some nice moves, but in the end, we have to remember SK are at the bottom of the standings. They were playing the #2 team in the league, and they put up this fight. So compare this, obviously not to Wolves because they just had an upset, but they are playing well. Bottom teams are fighting back.
They are fighting back, and maybe just a little too late, unfortunately. Anyways, we're going to head over to the analyst desk to take a closer look at that match.
Thank you so much, guys. OG triumphing here over SK Gaming and in second place for now. I do want to talk about SK Gaming, especially about the picks and bans. Let's get that graphic up, because it was starting off pretty well for them. They had their first rotation, Shen and Victor. Okay, possibility, maybe flex to Shen coming in there, but what happened after completely threw us for a loop.
Well, my problem, even with the start here for SK Gaming, and this is something we have to talk about with Freddy and his champion pool, we haven't seen him play Rumble. We haven't seen him play Ryze. He's not a guy who plays AP top laners. That is very key in the current meta, where Jace and Varus are power picks, and you need an AP component somewhere, otherwise you can't really pick these physical damage mid laners. Origin knew that, so they didn't have to early pick a Varus. They could just delay it. They took away the Rumble. They took away Corki as well, so all the AP is gone. And with SK then early picking the Shen, it left them without really any other options, in my opinion, to what else they could run up in that top lane, because we know Gnar is going to be good into the... Sorry, we know now it's going to be good into the Rumble, but when you pick Shen support, you need an AD carry who can defend himself. That was not the case here for Candy Panda, which meant Enready was stuck there. We barely got to see any global plays in the early game, and that was a big problem for SK.
And a big problem was even with Shen there. At times, you could see Origin just pinpointing that bottom lane, getting them into the lane and catching Candy Panda out a good few times. And, as you said with the picks and bans phase for SK, I think it's a big point to highlight about the Rumble. We did only see Freddy play Rumble in one game up until this point. He was 1-4, but it was a very, very long time ago, back in the very first couple of weeks of the split. So I feel like SK fixed the problem where Freddy wasn't quite performing by putting him on tanks, and they're reluctant to go anywhere from that.
Right, yeah, and just my main concern is how SK is picking for themselves. That's fine, especially, it's fine as long as you can also take something away, or you can pick like a counter comp against what you expect to be heavy poke when you play Origin with Varus open, because Pekka has shown some fantastic games on it. Origin got the perfect composition for them. Massive mid-game spikes, Varus, Rumble, Corki. It's exactly what they want to use to snowball games. Normally they can finish them a lot cleaner than this one here, but SK Gaming didn't pick anything to counter it, and that was my concern with it, and also why I feel like they lost the pick and ban phase. They had some fantastic plays, though, in the game to obviously keep it somewhat even.
Yeah, absolutely. OG built up a great lead, but as you touched on, SK had some good plays. We saw it at the end there with the Sven-Freddy combo, and that's something we a lot of times talk about with SK Gaming, that Sven and Freddy rather sometimes really try and put SK in their backpack. Let's take a look at one of the replays where Sven has a phenomenal play, but at this point, it's a little bit too late for everything.
Yeah, a little too late indeed. And, you know, this is what we've seen from Sven. He is capable of these plays, and, you know, Freddy is there right alongside him. We even saw teleport plays later in the game, but honestly, SK, they don't always seem on the same page as a team, though.
Yeah, in this case here, I would have loved to see Invader's ulti come in way early. As soon as Sven is going in and calling, because the way the communication go for Sven here, he's saying, I landed my Sonic, I'm going to kick him back. And then as soon as that happens, Invader just ultis onto him because he came in very late in the fight. We barely got to see him apply any CC for himself. And that was one of the ways maybe they could have gotten a second pick before Source came in with this Leandris, which again is so insanely strong at the moment. Just his damage is insane on this Rumble here, which, by the way, was it 100% pick and ban? So far in 5-13, that's going to keep happening.
I think so as well. If we look at what this means in terms of standings, OG is now second. They own the head-to-head over H2K, and they play them next week, Thursday, of course, so that'll be a very interesting matchup. And on the side of SK Gaming, Copenhagen Wolves, they're not out of it yet, but the minute SK Gaming picks up a win, they are. So the Copenhagen Wolves have to win all, and SK have to lose all from this point on. So all left to play in that one. One final point, maybe OG right now in second. You mentioned that you weren't completely convinced yet with their macro level play?
I think the way they played around Baron this game was fantastic. I think more for me, it was the fact that SK Gaming found so many openings in team fights. That was a bit of a concern. It was also what Gambit used yesterday to beat them, simply outplayed them on the individual level. But we're going to have to see more. I mean, Origin have a fantastic mid game still, and they are a good team.
Yeah, and of course they are, but it's very interesting to track as we go into the last two games. Now, as we look towards our next game between Elements and Fnatic, we'll hear from Elements head analyst Quinlan, who we caught up with earlier today. Let's take a look.
Thank you very much, Shox. I am joined by Quinlan of Elements. You are the analyst, of course, for Team Elements. I do want to ask you a little bit, after welcoming you here to the LCS, what exactly would you describe your role on the team and a little history about yourself?
My role on the team is I do a lot of research type stuff. I look at what enemy, like our opponents are playing in solo queue. I look at what other regions are picking up on in terms of champions, things like that. If they ask me a question about runes or item build, I look into those kind of things, and then I help with pick and ban. I also do the more basic stuff like saying, oh, this rotation wasn't that great, or you should have been here this time. So it's a bit of everything, but a lot of it's research type stuff. So, yeah.
Nice. You definitely have a lot of that going on in your head all the time, I would imagine. Easy to get that stuff mixed up. I know I certainly do. A little bit about the team, though. Elements, they're a team that, a lot of people called them a super team up until this last year when they were called Alliance, of course, and you're a little bit newer onto this squad. What would you say has really been the biggest changes that have resulted in some of their, frankly, disappointing performances of late?
Well, it is, compared to that last split, 4 completely new players. Only Frogman was on this team last split. Nif and Tabs were with the Alliance team last summer, but they haven't played together for a long time. So the synergy doesn't completely carry over after not playing for that long. And on top of that, the meta's obviously changed. It just is. Teams are getting better. And then on top of that, if you look at a lot of our losses, regardless of what else happened, we'd do some critical mistake early, like level 1 deaths, or a bunch of deaths at like 8 minutes in the game, or we mess up a lane swap, even if no enemies are around. So it's a lot of those mistakes like that that are just lack of concentration, or whatever you want to call it, on stage. It just things don't follow through, have cost us a lot of games. And I think this break, after the season is over, we'll have a lot of time to focus on those kinds of things.
Well, it's a good thing that you're very well aware of all this stuff going on. And, the season is soon to be over, but everything is still in flux. You still have a chance to make the playoffs, and getting that top 6 spot would be excellent for a team like Elements right now. Do you have any plans to, or what exactly would be those plans to try and get yourselves into that top spot?
Well, for one, if we win all of our games, we're guaranteed a spot because we win the head-to-head with Rocket. And just the way the brackets work, we're guaranteed to be in playoffs if we win. Of course, we're playing Fnatic today, so it's not that easy. But yeah, I think this next week, we're just really going to try and tighten up on a lot of like the little mistakes and clean those things up so we can actually let the game we practice show through. And I think between that and then the little bit of time we have before playoffs go off and only preparing for one opponent, we can really refine a lot of the mistakes we're making and look more solid, basically. Or we have more of a game plan going in than all these mistakes holding us up.
Still definitely a chance, and every single game counts, of course. Thank you again for joining us, Quinlan. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break as Elements and Fnatic will get ready to gear up onto the Rift. Don't go anywhere.
The Heartthrob Peke playing the Heart Seeker Varus.
Niels, insect?
Oh, Niels has got the Chaos Storm! Catches Mithy and Niels spins looking for the kill. He will find it! The big barrel bonk onto Candy as the body slam follows. Cosmo's gonna stay alive and Mithy is going to save Amazing. Going to pop Chain of Corruption, did not connect on the Gnaw. Gets a double stun into a double taunt into a double kill. Niels gets the kill, a flash forward from the body slam of Amazing. Gonna give more Soaz, was burning down Fox and Freddy's looking for the kill. Holding on to sole position of second place